Hi all, I would like to introduce to our new project, Computing Social Score of Web Artifacts. Let me introduce to this project. Now what we need to do is extract the trending web artifacts from two of the most awesome social media platforms, Facebook and Twitter. Web artifacts may range from a viral kitten video to a Kiran Bedi's inspiring speech. Here web artifacts are the URLs embedded in a FB post or a Twitter tweet. But only Facebook and Twitter. Why?
Well, here is the reason. Most of the people spend time on either of the platforms, because of which they probably can't keep up with the both. Well, what if I miss something in such a competitive world? So here we bring the trending of both the world on a common platform. Well, you ask how we did it? It was, pretty simple. We took the data, did some mumbo jumbo, and voila, it's done. Now, seriously coming to how it actually began.
So let me explain you. First, we made a list of users who spend half of their life online. Then we used Python Twitter API to crawl their entire social life. For each of their tweets, we stored all the relevant details such as retweets, follow counts, favorites counts and so on. And we extracted the URLs from these tweets and treated them as web artifacts. But what we need to do with that data?
Well, remaining totally unbiased here and not preferring Katy Perry, we used a really basic ranking mechanism. We assign a social score to each of the artifacts according to our defined heuristics. Well, more weight was given to retweet count, people who favorited a tweet, and less to number of followers of the Twitter. Because let's face it, not every man is Frank Underwood. So, finally our equation is like this. Artifact score is equal to X star retweet count, Y star retweet favorite count, Z star follower count minus time lapse into T, where T is the time decay factor. But what about FB posts?
Similarly for Facebook, we extracted the URL and some parameters like likes, comments and shares of the post. From each artifact, that is URL in this case, a social score is computed using simple heuristics, where more weight is given to number of shares followed by number of comments. So our equation in this case is X into share count plus Y into comment count plus Z into like count minus time elapsed into T, where T is the decay factor. Is it done?
Sadly, no.
What else is left?
Well, we have a social metrics from both Facebook and Twitter in the artifact versus score format. But now arises the real challenge. We need to merge both these social metrics.
But why?
Well, mostly because firstly, scores from both the metrics needs to be normalized. It's not necessary that the score of the Facebook and score of the Twitter are the same. Also, there might be artifacts which are common to both Facebook and Twitter. Hence, we need to bring those common artifacts to power.
This all sounds pretty simple till now. How is this challenging?
Well, the real challenge. One of the newest ways would be to cross-check each artifact in a FB database against each in Twitter. This would take O into M star n time, like considering there are n artifacts in Facebook and n artifacts in a Twitter. But let's face it, it's pretty slow considering the scale of the size of the data that we are processing. Now one could think of coming up with another way where we dump each FB artifact into a dictionary and make a lookup. But still, even though it's pretty fast, it's still going to eat a lot of extra space which we don't have. So now, is there actually a solution?
Well, we thought about it and clustering was one of the ideas we really appreciated. What we do now is that we cluster all the artifacts in FB and Twitter separately. Now instead of cross-checking on FB artifact against all in Twitter, we just do it for the corresponding cluster in Twitter. This drastically reduces our time complexity while still keeping us in space constraints which are limited.
Wow! Perfection achieved!
Actually not. What we have done has loads of room for improvement. Like for starters, what we are doing involves a lot of pre-processing, instead of which we can make all this process dynamic, where joint social scoring is done at real time and is updated each time we get a new trending tweet or post. Also, our final output is of the form of URL versus joint social score. Currently, we have this lying in a file in our hard drive. Hopefully, we'll see the light of this social world someday on it.
Well, that's all from us, and I would really like to thank our guide Dr. Vasudeva Varma and mentor Mr. Lakshminarayanan Srinivasan for guiding us and helping us in building